In a development that has sent shockwaves through the nation and the wider West African region, Nigerian authorities have made a significant and alarming intervention by arresting 16 military officers who were allegedly in the advanced stages of planning a coup d'état to overthrow the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a plot that underscores the fragile state of democratic governance in a region recently beset by military takeovers. According to detailed reports from credible sources, including information provided by a senior officer from the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, the group of 16, which included individuals holding ranks from captain up to a brigadier general who was identified as the ringleader, was apprehended while conducting a clandestine meeting to finalize their strategy for seizing power from the country's elected civilian leadership. The plotters reportedly expressed a clear intention to replicate the recent success of military uprisings in neighboring West African nations such as Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and were even inspired by the very recent political upheaval in Madagascar, which just yesterday inaugurated a new military president, Mikel, seeing these events as a blueprint for their own actions in Nigeria. Their stated motivation, as revealed in the reports, was a profound disillusionment with the political class, whom they labeled as selfish politicians, and a belief that a military government was the necessary solution to steer the country away from its current challenges, including widespread economic hardship, pervasive insecurity, and deep-seated political corruption. This foiled plot is not merely an isolated incident of military insubordination, but a profound symptom of the deep-rooted crises and growing public discontent that threaten the stability of Africa's most populous nation, raising urgent questions about the health of its democracy nearly 3 decades after its last military ruler ceded power. The fact that officers of such mid to senior ranks were involved is particularly troubling, as it suggests a vein of political ambition and frustration within a segment of the armed forces, an institution that has historically played an outsized role in Nigerian politics, having ruled the country for a significant portion of its post-independence history. The attempted replication of the Mali-Burkina Faso-Niger model highlights a dangerous and contagious trend of democratic backsliding in the Sahel and West Africa, where juntas have justified their takeovers by citing the very same failures of civilian governments that the Nigerian plotters are now invoking, thereby creating a perilous regional domino effect that threatens to undo decades of democratic progress. For President Tinubu, who also holds the chairmanship of the ECOWAS regional bloc, a body that has been actively challenging the juntas in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, this internal threat from within his own military is a severe test of his authority and a stark contradiction to his stance against unconstitutional seizures of power on the continent. The successful preemptive action by the DIA, while demonstrating a degree of institutional resilience and the effectiveness of the country's intelligence apparatus, also serves as a chilling warning that the foundations of Nigerian democracy are more vulnerable than they appear, existing in a neighborhood where the appeal of military rule is being dangerously renormalized. Consequently, this event forces a critical national and international conversation about the urgent need to address the underlying grievances of poverty, corruption, and poor governance that fuel such desperate plots, because without meaningful political and economic reforms that restore public faith in democratic institutions, the temptation for military intervention will remain a persistent and existential threat to Nigeria's fragile democratic experiment, proving that the greatest dangers to a nation's stability can sometimes emerge not from external enemies, but from within its own ranks.